members are here and accounted for. Ms. Jenkins? First item up, Mr. Schneiderbach, consider approval of the low quote for mold remediation and decontamination in the crawl space of Laranja's Elementary School Auditorium.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This project at Laranja Auditorium actually derived recently. Y'all may realize about 5 years ago we air conditioned the auditorium. And by air conditioning the auditorium, we're sucking moisture out of the ground through the floor of the auditorium, and it's creating problems. Not only is it creating mold in the bottom of underneath the floor joists, it's also the wood flooring is starting to deteriorate. So we need to do something to retain and keep the building function. This quote includes a barrier vapor of visqueen to prevent future reoccurrence. We'll have dehumidifiers to remove the moisture. We'll use antibacterial agents and coating to remove the mold. So it's administration's recommendation to go with the low quote of $48,364.43 from ServPro.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Go ahead. No? Any other discussion? Any other questions?
I do. So this is in a crawl space that's outside
Underneath.
and underneath, right? So there's no, this is not something where we feel like that we could have been harming any of our students
No.
or anything like that.
No, but we need to remediate it so we can maintain the structure of the building.
Right. So it's more about making sure that we don't have, structural damage that is more substantial down the road.
Correct.
Okay.
Historical building that's up there. Okay, we have any objection? And so moved. Our next item for Hammond East Side's parking lot. You want to just tell us about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Item 1B, consider approval of the low quote to expand the Hammond Eastside Magnet Schools parking lot facing LA Highway 190 by 32 parking spaces from the low quote Kinchin's Construction in the amount of $19,950. This will be 32 parking spaces with bumpers. We'll remove 1 foot of dirt and add 1 foot of clay. We'll add 6 inches of slag on the surface. It's needed at the school. The number of students and employees at that site, we do not have enough parking for our employees, more or less for visitors. And with events at this school, this would add additional parking for after-school events where parents come to the campus and they're having to park along Highway 90,
This is great.
along River Road.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Simmons. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Westmoreland. Any discussion or questions? Any objection? So ordered. Okay, our next one.
Item 1C, consider approval of the low quote to install a new sound system and speakers for Independence High Magnet Schools football stadium by Education Electronics Corporation in the amount of $20,132. This will be 1 4-channel amplifier, 2 high output speakers, 2 long throw loudspeakers, and then obviously the wire and the boom and equipment to install it. Well, we're in the current process of installing the new concrete poles at Independence High. It should be done this week. These speakers would be attached to those poles on the visitor side and project the sound across the field to, it's going to be on the poles on the home side and project the sound across the field to the visitor side.
Okay.
Make
Do we have a motion?
I'll second.
A motion by Ms. Abrams, second by Ms. Simmons. Any questions, discussion? Any objection? So ordered. Our next one on Amite West Side.
1D, consider approval to seek quotes to purchase and install 2 large 12-foot ceiling fans in Amite West Side Magnet Schools Gymnasium with an estimated cost of $45,000. You know, we've recently installed ceiling fans at Amite High, at Ponchatoula High, and at Roseland, and there is a big difference for our students who are under the fans. We'd like to expand this to other schools and look at them. I'd like to look next in Independence at both Independence High and Independence Magnet. But right now we're talking about Amite West Side. This is really needed, so we're recommending strongly to move forward. All we're asking tonight is permission to seek quotes.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Ms. Simmons. Do we have a second? Second. A second by Ms. Janice. Any questions on this?
Mr. Schneiderbach, it's not part of this proposal, but it's my understanding that maybe through maintenance, we're also going to be doing some ventilation work in that
Right.
school?
A lot of things are going on in that gym right now. First of all, let's talk about the electrical. The current electrical service prior to this week, or last week, We had no additional electrical supply at that school to even plug in a fan in the gym. So Mark's Electric has gone in there. We have a different voltage at the school. He had to install a step-down transformer to get us to 120, 208, so we can install additional electrical outlets along the walls that we can plug in some floor fans. We've done that, should be completed this week. In addition, with the additional electrical service, we've added a panel to handle additional load so we can install not only a ceiling fan, but also to install ventilation fans. We had ventilation fans in the gym, but when we added a new sloping roof to the locker rooms, we encased the existing fans inside the constructed ceiling, so they were inoperable. So we're adding ceiling fans. These are exhaust ceiling fans, so we can get air in and out of the gym. And we're currently working and getting quotes on that now.
Now, but is that portion of this project gonna be done through maintenance, or are y'all gonna be coming?
That's gonna be done under maintenance.
Okay, so that's going forward?
Yes.
In addition to this?
Correct.
Okay. And that's both the electrical and the...
The electrical work's almost, probably nearly completed, huh, Kevin? It's completed. So the electrical work's been completed this week. Kevin's crew is working on getting quotes to do the exhaust fan work, because that's a maintenance project.
Okay,
They have been ordered. Thank you, Kevin.
great.
Okay, any more discussion? Any objection? Okay, next one, low quote on parents PTAC units.
Yes, this was supposed to be a summer project. We only had one quote. We went out and got additional quotes. Consider approval of the low quote by Sharkey Mechanical to remove and replace 44 PTAC units at Parent Early Learning Center in the amount of $22,128. These are units that we have in stock. This $22,000 cost is the labor to remove the existing, to put in the new ones, and to do the carpentry work to clean up or install the units so they are properly installed in the classroom.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion, Mr. Toller, we have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Simmons. Any questions on this? Objections? It's so ordered. And one more.
The last item, 1F, consider approval of the low quote by Han Enterprise, Inc. to purchase and install 180 student lockers at Roseland Montessori School in the amount of $27,494. We've gotten 3 quotes. The low quote is from Han in that amount. We're recommending, this is a request by the principal, we're recommending to move forward with these lockers.
All right, do we have a?
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Ms. Simmons?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Abrams. Any questions on the lockers? Any objection? So ordered. Okay, anything other to
No,
come?
Thank you, Ms. Chairman.
I had something to ask Mr.
Okay.
Schneider. I told you this week that I was going to ask you about an update on the safety walkway on LaRonger's 443 highway.
Yes, in preparing for our meeting tonight, Ms. Simmons, I called Sane Engineering and found out that Ms. Diane Hammond, who was the lead engineer on this project, is no longer with the company Sane Engineering. They've now reassigned Mr. Jeremy Greer. I had a conversation with him, with Mr. Greer, and Mr. Crevetta and I will have a telephone conversation at 7:30 on Thursday morning to talk about the project. What we learned in the conversation is that the Hawk system, which is the overhead, over roadway lighting system, is not going to be approved by the state, and that they're recommending to go with a triangular system or a rectangular pole-mounted flashing light system, and that's what we're going to discuss with him, find out what needs to be done. It will be a student-activated lighting system, but instead of being over the roadway, it will be on poles on the side of the roadway. So we're gathering more information. We'll come back to
So
you.
that'd be a new price, right? New,
I'm sure it'll be a much
Yeah.
lower price than we had before.
yeah. And the other update too on the drainage for LaRonger.
The architects have informed me tonight that they're currently finishing up on the designs of the drainage, and they'll be going out for quotes probably within the next 2 weeks.
And then the field house
That's the
comes
same.
next.
The same drainage is for Woodland Park Project 2. The field house, the architects have given me a rough drawing. I've received it today, have not gone over it with them. We will sit down and go over that and present it to Ms. Stilley and bring it to the committee when we, in the near future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
Yes.
Ms. Janice?
I'd just like to know if Kentwood High, if Kentwood High School is on the list for pressure washing the buildings?
I can't answer the pressure washing. We have some concerns about Kentwood High's wooden, what do you call it? So we got some issues with that. We need to get with the architects. We need to get with Ms. Stilly and update her on it. We got concerns. The millwork is mainly concerned around the windows.
Right,
And
you
the
got the window
doorways.
problem, right.
So that's probably part of what you're seeing. You want to pressure wash and all. It probably needs to be repainted, but I think some of that needs to be replaced.
Right.
So we need to get with the architects, address that issue, and then come back to the committee when we know more.
Thank you.
Anything else for the committee?
Thank you.
Okay, then, meeting adjourned.